All right, so I'm gonna start with this board. And I've already kind of measured where I want this revolver to be placed, right about the center. So we're gonna cut off this bad corner here. We're gonna cut off this ugly knot here. So I've got a couple lines marked to where it's gonna be centered, and that's the size of the board I'm gonna use to support this gun when I make it a wall hanging. All right, so in just a little bit more than no time, we got to cut down the size. And then this is where we're gonna mount these brass hangers. We're going to have that gun sitting somewhere in there like that. We'll do a bit of sanding, staining. We'll have some final adjustment. We'll get this thing right where we want to be. After lots of sanding, got a nice smooth finish, especially even here on the end grain. That took quite a bit of work to get that end grain nice and smooth. It's ready for stain. And what better color than gun stock? That should be like the perfect stain color. All right, we're ready for some stain. We'll get this very average looking board into something that's presentable. All right, so we're all stained up. I followed the directions on the stain, applied it with a brush, let it sit for 2 to 3 minutes, and then wiped it off. And I got nice end grain there. It's looking pretty good. Now we'll get these brass hangers figured out where exactly we want them, and we'll be ready to hang this gun. All right, so this is the back side. And I'm going to use these little hangers. They came with little brass screws. So I'm going to hang this on the wall. And what I decided was to put these two hangers exactly 1 foot apart, or 12 inches apart, and 1 inch down from the top. So when I go to mount this, I know I just put 2 holes in the wall 1 foot apart, and this should hang, and just everything's level. We should be good. And these little hangers, there's a cheap little piece of brass, and they're obviously punched. So you got like a rough side and a smooth side. I'm just going to make sure the smooth side is facing front, and make sure they're both the same. We'll get those mounted up so we can hang it. And here we can see from center to center exactly 1 foot. So hopefully that makes things easier when I go to hang it, or if I want to hang it a second time or move it around. Having those 2 hangers 1 foot apart, hopefully that helps later on. All right, so here's my dilemma. Is I chose this board, and I shaped it and sized it for this particular revolver. It's a Ruger Blackhawk. It's an old model, or the 3-screw. But once I started looking at this brass and the wood, I thought maybe this would look better with this Colt 1860 replica on there. And they're not too far different. So I'm thinking might just move these hangers around to accommodate this old cap and ball revolver. I think that might be a better wall hanger. All right, so I've got these hangers laid out, and I think that's where I want to be. I got it. Not doing any measurements, just totally doing this eyeball. I think that's where I want these to be. I'm going to use my little wood screws here, these little brass screws I picked up. I'm going to mount this first one, and then I'll mount the second one, make sure when everything's level. It's going to sit just like that. Not too bad. Got a couple of these heavy duty hangers, which says it'll hold 50 pounds each. Should be more than enough to hold this Colt replica. Not too bad. And there's the finished product up on the wall, right next to the John Wayne Rio Grande movie poster. Nice place for it. And we're all done.